Alrighty, friends, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. I'd actually love for you to set in the chat which country or state you're calling in from. That'd be super fun. We have everyone from Mexico, US, Japan, Netherlands calling on. So let us know where you're calling in from. This is an interactive. South Africa, welcome Danielle, Netherlands, Switzerland, Spain, New York, Japan, Colorado, Dubai. I love it. What a crazy international world that we are living in, right? Gosh, this profession the ability for this profession to help us create global businesses so quickly is just shocking. Okay, I am sitting in the middle of Mexico. You'll hear a little bit more about my story if I haven't met you yet. It's an honor. I really appreciate you taking the time, whether you're watching the recording or you're here live with me, to learn something new. Yeah. So what we're going to focus on today are the strategies to enroll 3 to 7 new customers or partners per week online without actually, get this, cold messaging, hey girl tactics, any of the spammy behaviors online that we might feel like we have to do in order to get results, but they make us feel pretty icky. Yeah, they make us feel like an amateur. We know we're better than that, but we just don't have skill sets yet that are giving these results. And so if this is a result that you would love, drop a 1 in the chat. Okay, I've got the chat open so I can follow. If this is a business result that you want, Jaden's in, right? Daniel's in, Victoria's in, right? This is Val's in, Yvonne's in. Like, this is something that is incredibly possible when you learn these skills. Okay, go ahead and mute yourself, please, just to keep the line clear for your recording. Here's a bit of background about me. If we haven't met yet, you can see that I am a girl mom times 4 and 5 if you count the dog. That's our brand new puppy. And this actually is a family pic from Gracie's birthday. So Gracie is smack dab in the middle. And Grace came to our family through adoption. She's Chinese. And my family lived in China for 16 years. It's where I met my beautiful upline and many of these women here actually, as a perpetual expat. So 3 years ago, we moved from China to the middle of Mexico, sight unseen in 3 weeks. That's a whole story in and of itself. But raising my children as expat kids it's an important value to me to show them different parts of the world and to help them be culturally and linguistically fluent. So 3 years in Mexico. What happened to my business when COVID struck, like many of us, is I lost pretty much half my business overnight because China shipping shut down for about 6 months. And so it was devastating when I moved to Mexico and I was far away from my business center and we lost about half of it. And so it became very clear very quickly that I had 2 options. Yeah. So I could continue to build my my business, belly to belly, right? Person to person. And I started to have classes in my home. I found didn't speak Spanish at the time. It's still not super good, but I found a business partner who was bilingual. Yeah. As leaders, we do what we have to do to grow our business. The challenge was when I was in China, my average cart was about $250 to $300 to start because there's a ton more funds available in that culture. So I went from a $250, $300 average cart to, get this, $10 average cart. So you can imagine my surprise moving to a different culture and watching my business dwindle. And I thought, gosh, I have got to do something. So my first year, I started a branding agency because it was in my wheelhouse. My background is in marketing and sales, corporate marketing, sales, and branding. And so I was helping business owners in the network marketing space create personal brands for them. And it was a great filler in terms of income, but it still was not growing my network marketing business. And I am so passionate about what this industry can do for families that I thought, man, I got to figure something out. And so I researched and researched and researched, and I wanted the best online marketing, digital marketing program that there could be. And honestly, all roads led back to a company called Attraction Marketing. Anyone, a trainer or anyone pretty much that you see building big online brands is either a student of Attraction Marketing or a student of a student of a student of a student. They've been doing this, get this, since 2001. What were you doing in 2001? I was in college. I certainly was not using the internet to build any online business. And so these guys are the OGs, right? They are the original strategists of online marketing. And so I've been a student of attraction marketing for about 2.5 years now, and I have invested multiple 5 figures into learning and mentorship with them. What I'm going to teach you today comes from my background of attraction marketing and branding. Yeah. And so I just put the last little bullet there. If you're familiar with strengths finders, then you'll recognize maybe some of those. Those are my top 5 strengths. And what they mean for you is that I can help you chart where you want to go and then actually chart the path to get there in the fastest, most fun way humanly possible. So that's my promise to you today, is that you're going to learn tons. It might feel like a fire hose depending on where you are in your digital marketing journey. And so you're going to get a recording of this. In fact, well, I'll tell you that in a second. So what we're going to do today is I want you to understand what attraction marketing actually is, so that you can identify the difference between the in-person belly-to-belly tactics that I'm sure you all know and attraction marketing strategies. And then each one of us gets to decide, okay, what percentage of my business do I want to do in person because it's working and I enjoy it? And what part of my time do I want to work to build online? Each one of us is going to have a different ratio of that depending on our circumstances. Okay, you get to decide that today. The other thing that we're going to do today is I want to help you understand what's preventing you from building a successful business online. If you are trying online and you're not getting the results that you want, you're going to understand why that is. We're going to help you self-diagnose that today. The other thing is, remember, activator is my number 1 strength, which means I like to get things done and I like to help you get things done. You're going to walk away with an action plan today. Okay, step by step by step. That's going to help you move in the right direction. And then if you want help through that action plan, then I have a very special opportunity for you today to join a group coaching kind of book club for the next 4 weeks. So I'm going to walk through that. What happens in summer, guys, for most network marketers is their business goes stagnant and then they've got to catch up in the fall. That's not what professionals do. And I'm treating all of us like professionals. And so how do you keep your momentum going through the summer when everyone else is dormant and sleeping? We're going to be equipping you with these online skills over the next 4 weeks. Okay, bit of housekeeping first. Please, in terms of attendance, if you will, drop your full name and the best email in the chat, because I don't have your emails to send you the replay. Okay, you're going to want this replay because you're going to listen to it again and again and get different things out of it each time. And we're going to talk about an important resource, and I want to make sure that you have that right to your inbox. Okay, thank you. I see those coming in. Please spell your name correctly and double check your email. Okay, this is also designed to be interactive. Yeah, so participate. When I ask questions, which I will, you can unmute, you can drop in the chat. I've got everything open so I can see it. If you don't participate, if you sit back, you will not learn as much as you can. So you're giving your time to be here. Yeah, participate. Then cameras on if you can. I feed off of your energy. Anyone who has taught online classes knows the importance of energy and seeing people nod and interact. Cameras on if you can. And then please save your questions for the end because they will get lost in the chat. And I want to make sure that we get to every single one of your questions. Okay. And I might answer your question along the way. We've got a lot to cover. Okay. Now, let's dive in. What exactly are the challenges that we face as distributors online? Here are some truths. We all sell the same products. Now, some of us are in different companies. Yeah. And so you within your company sell the same product as the person next to you, and we all use the same platforms. Yeah. Some of us are using Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or right, but we're all using the same online platforms. Most of us either don't want to make a list of 100 names and cold message everyone, or we've done it and we've run out of the warm market. So this list of 100 names typically provides results because they're warm. We already have influence. We've already have some sort of relationship with that person. But what do you do after your 100 names or your 200 names or your 300 names when you run out of people to talk to? What's your strategy there? Most of us don't have one. Okay. For those of us who are doing in-person presentations in this particular era of online marketing or network marketing, they're seeming less effective or that they take too much time and resources away. Many of us are dropping ranks. I dropped 2 ranks when my business crumbled, and I thought, gosh, I got to learn a new trick, right? And so when we drop ranks, we have a drop in income that we can use for promotions, events, ads, all of those things. Some of us are experiencing stagnant ranks, or slow growth in our business. And if you here are a leader with a downline, I want you to put 2 hats on. First, the hat is learning for you, right? What can you take out of this? Some of you, because I know you, are already super good online. But have you been able to distill that into a standard operating procedure or a way that you can help your distributors, your partners, get really good online too? And so you've got the leader hat of, can I teach this? Is this valuable to my team? Then you've got the, I want to learn this hat because I want to be more effective online. So the other thing is that we're tired. Anyone else tired? I'm tired, not gonna lie. And the prospects have changed. Yeah. And so we're finding prospects online. The moment we say our company name, they have these preconceived ideas of who we are, what we do, how we serve, especially if your company is going through a little bit of a internal rebranding, right? Where maybe you were known as one thing, but we're trying to be known for something more comprehensive, something larger. Our prospects seem to know it all about their issues and our products. So how do we combat this? Okay. These are the challenges that most of us face. And when somebody new takes their business online, they often treat it like they're sitting at a coffee shop with a girlfriend and they're vomiting their new excitement over all this products to their girlfriend. Well, we do the same thing online because we don't know better. Now, if you've been this person, which I have, if you have these people on your team, this is just a skill set issue. That's it, right? And so there's a skill set for online and there's a skill set for offline. Some overlap, most do not. And so if you see images of products online or educational images, that's a vomit. And I want to ask yourself, I want you to ask yourself, is it effective? Are you getting sales out of your warm market from posts like that? In our world, we don't say something is right or wrong. There is no right or wrong because something that might work for me might not be as effective for you and vice versa. So when we're coming online, we're simply evaluating, was it effective? Did it get the desired result? Or was it ineffective? If it's ineffective, we shift. Vomiting products on social media for the vast majority of people, unless you already have a certain degree of influence, is ineffective. Okay. Now, here is a very realistic future vision for your business. This is what is possible. 3 to 7 new enrollments weekly on autopilot. And then I want you to multiply that by all the people on your business, in your business, all of your partners who are also learning these skills. Okay. Done online, automated and leveraged, which means you're not having to be at the helm of your business 24/7 to see results, and then creating an effective duplication system that is possible for everyone that comes into your business. Now, one of my mentors in attraction marketing, she is fascinating. For 9 months, she went live every day on her Instagram. Or her Facebook. She had no influence, but she was the most coachable, most trainable student attraction marketing had. In fact, before she joined attraction marketing, her upline, she sold cleaning supplies. So her upline said, okay, you need to get a bucket and you need to go door to door. She called it a sparkle bucket. This woman went door to door in her neighborhood and just spread out for months trying to sell these things. Had a little bit of success. Yeah. The problem is, who else is going to do that? That's certainly not duplicatable, because as leaders, we're often willing to do things that normal humans are not. This woman now enrolls 11,000 customers onto her business every month. 11,000 customers. And it's because she has now cracked effective duplication systems for her business using attraction marketing strategies that anyone can do. Yeah, that is a very realistic future vision for your business. Now, that was 5 years ago when she started, right? It took her 9 months of showing up live every day online to make her first cold market sale. What are you willing to do to build that sort of a business? Right now, I'm not saying you have to go live online. We're going to talk about, what you should be doing every week, every day. But are you the most coachable person in this room? Are you the most coachable human on this call? Yeah. Are you coming in with preconceived notions of what's possible for you, what works for you, what you're willing to do? Or are you sitting here open to even this very small, realistic future vision for your business? Yeah. If, honestly, I don't have systems to bring in 11,000 people a month, right? But she didn't, that was 5 years ago. And so that's how I want to set you up. I want you to put down your preconceived notions as we get into this. Yeah. And I want you to really just dream about what's possible if you're willing to learn the skill sets required. Now, what do we need to do this? We need a personal brand. Okay. Every single online marketer, every single online network marketer, social seller that is effective online has taken the time to build a very succinct personal brand. Whether you like the brand or not is irrelevant, because a great personal brand acts as a filter, and it attracts the right people and it repels the wrong people. Now, a personal brand is critical because this will support us and our businesses no matter what we sell, what we represent. Nobody ever wants to think about your particular company going down, right? My particular company going down. But guess what? It happens. And so if you have a personal brand, you are immune to market shifts. You're immune to company shifts. You're actually even immune to your own company's reputation in the marketplace, because you're building you Inc., not your company's brand, not your company's name. So really, effective online marketing is simply building your personal brand. Now, most of us here on this call are coming in with some offline sales skills. Yeah. The person who tells you that network marketing is not selling is lying to you and trying to take the sting off if you're like anti-sale. Listen, any business, you have to sell things in order to make money. So most of us have this beautiful offline sales skill set. How do we transition that for online success? Simply by learning and implementing the strategies and tactics of effective attraction marketing. Now, question, and you can unmute, you can drop it in the chat. I've got everything open here. When you see the words attraction marketing, what do you think of? What does that mean to you? Victoria in the chat says, people just come to me. Yes, ma'am. Anything else? Law of attraction, Erska, brilliant. What else? People drawn to the brand, they identify with you. Absolutely. Okay. Do you see this little? So this is the attraction marketing logo. And you see that magnet? Attraction marketing used to be called magnetic sponsoring. Yeah. So think about when you create that brand, basically it's like you have this massive magnet sitting there just sifting through the wrong people and attracting only the right people to you. Okay. That is attraction marketing. Now, attraction marketing in real life, we do this all the time, guys. right? Have you ever seen a profile and like gone through and something resonated, right? You like them. And then you thought to yourself, what do they sell? Have you ever thought that? I think that all the time. The other example of attraction marketing in real life is think of a leader in your organization that started after you and then skyrocketed through the ranks, right? They're like flying past everybody. My question for you is, what did they have that perhaps you don't yet or didn't have? Okay. If somebody starts after you and skyrockets through the ranks, what is it that they have that you don't yet? One word. Remember, we're all the same product, same platforms, higher frequency, strong belief, possibly. It's not what I'm thinking of though. Connection, possibly. What have they built? Energy, no fear, magnetism, a clear goal. All these things are important. Commitment, important. A system, important. Brand, important. They had two things. A specific, targeted, engaged audience and influence over that audience. Okay. If somebody skyrockets past you, it's because they have done the work in some capacity to attract the right people to them. And then they've done the work to build influence over those people. Okay. These are two things that are critically important for us to build online as we're learning attraction marketing. Here are the three tenets of attraction marketing: AIE, attract, influence, and enroll. The very first thing we have to do online is attract the right people to us. Well, that means we have to define the right people. I'm going to show you how to do that. But who is it that you want to serve? You know, when I have an event in my home, I don't really have control over who walks in the door. And I can sit and I could say, oh, you've got gut issues, you've got hormone issues, you've got headaches, you've got pain issues. And I can really tailor my message based on who's sitting at my dining room table. Online, it doesn't work that way. If online, 1 week you're talking hormones, 1 week you're talking sleep, 1 week you're talking digestion and nutrition, unless your brand is holistic wellness and you're attracting people who want the holistic element of it, the people that follow you for sleep, because that's their main pain point, that's what literally is keeping them up at night. The moment you switch to hormones, they're out of there. And so by identifying who it is that you want to serve and then doing the work to attract them, that's step number one. Once you have your audience, then we need to do influence behaviors, which I'm going to define what they are. Okay. So once we have influence over them, then 1 in every 10 posts, 1 in every 12 posts, when we put out a, hey, put your hand up for this product or put your hand up to work with me enrollment post, what we call curiosity post, you've already done the work for them to go, well, I know her, I like her, I trust her. Let me put my hand up. What most of us do when we start building online is we start by just saying, here's a promotion, buy. We start with the enroll section of it, but we haven't done the work to get the right audience on the page and to influence them. Most of our audience, when we start building online, are friends and family. Yeah. That's not who we're going to build a 6 or 7 figure business with. We need to sift through the friends and family who are interested and then find and pull the cold market over so that we can do the work to influence them. Okay. Now, here's a side-by-side comparison of two different models. Now, if you're in a company that doesn't use pipes as a sales pipeline, the acronym, that's okay. Most of us do some capacity of pipes. So pipes stands for prepare, invite, present, enroll, and support. So here are the activities that we do when we're building in person. We have to prepare ourselves, right? We need to learn how to teach a class, learn how to invite properly. Those are skill sets. Yeah, we need to learn about the products, learn about the company, build our belief in the company. Okay, that's all self-preparation. Then we have to have the skill set of inviting effectively. How do we invite somebody? Do we sample them? How do we ensure that they come? Yeah. Then we present. Belly to belly only works with a concise, effective product presentation. Okay. Now you might be presenting on Zoom, you might be presenting in person. Even if you're building on Zoom for the presentation, you're still building technically belly to belly because you're using these tactics. Now, FU here stands for follow up, right? We follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, sometimes forever. And then we finally get the enrollment. Now, from the enrollment, that's when we do customer support, customer retention. And so this is a very typical sales pipeline for any brick and mortar business, right? How do they get people through the door? How do they influence them? How do they get a larger cart out of them? That's all belly to belly tactics. Now, on the attraction marketing side, we stick to 3 skill sets: attract, influence, and enroll. So what this looks like is you putting out content that's intentionally designed to attract the right people. It's you putting out content designed to influence the right people. It's you putting out content designed to enroll the right people. And so if you look at this, the question is, how much of this is actually customer facing, right? Meaning you being hands-on face-to-face with customers, and how much of it is leverageable for growth? Well, to be frank, on the pipe side of things, the only thing that you're doing on your own is preparation. The rest of it is customer facing. Okay. On the attraction marketing side, where you're customer facing is actually in the enroll section of your attract, influence, and enroll work. And by the time someone puts their hand up to work with you, guess what? They're already in. It's a courtesy conversation. Yeah. It might be an upsell conversation, depending on what product you're leading with. Now, in terms of leverageable for growth, I had a class at my house 2 weeks ago. And we sat there because Mexico classes go very long. We sat there for 4 hours. We had 3 enrollments. And then all of that beautiful knowledge and information and wisdom that I shared just kind of escaped into the ether. Okay. Wasn't recorded, hard to record a live class, and it's gone. Now, we did get 3 enrollments out of it. On the leverageable side, attraction marketing is far more leverageable because the work that you do stays, right? You might have a reel go viral 6 months down the road when the algorithm picks it up again. Okay, don't ever delete your reels because you never know what's going to go crazy. Okay, and so if you're looking for leverageable growth, the attraction marketing skill set is what you need to begin to develop. Now, I want you to understand that these are 2 different models requiring 2 different skill sets. Yeah, it's not that one is better or more effective than the other. In fact, statistically, every single one of us will have a better close rate sitting one-on-one at a coffee shop with a prospect, period. End of discussion. However, that's not scalable. And so if you want to build a scalable business, yeah, then learning the tenets of attraction marketing is where you want to be. Okay. Now, back to attraction marketing. Let's look at the word influence. Okay. You can unmute, you can drop it in the chat. What does the word influence mean to you? Think about somebody that has influence over you. Ooh, Victoria, power to sway. Okay, think about somebody who you have influence over. Why do you have influence over them? Why does somebody have influence over you? Erska, trust. Convincing. Why do you allow somebody to hold influence over you? They know, like, and trust you. Brilliant. Belief, knowledge. Right? You consider them to be more knowledgeable than you. You respect them. Yep. Brilliant. Okay. Let's talk about influence. You're right on, Victoria. Know, like, and trust factor. We hear this all the time. And we're going to talk about how we build our know, like, and trust factor from scratch. Because if you are not somebody who's online influence matches your offline influence, then we can do things to help build your online influence to match who you are offline. Now, in order to grow influence, you must be able and willing to help someone, even if they don't buy from you or join your team. Are you the type of human, if you're having a conversation with somebody and you think to yourself, gosh, I think I could help them, but this person could help them way better than me? Are you willing to lose a sale to help the human? Yeah, that is a influence behavior that is completely underrated and completely unknown, but is probably the most leverageable influence behavior that you could ever engage in, is being willing to lose the sale in order to help the human. Influence takes time to build. It takes work to build. You have to earn the right to hold influence, right? Think about a parent-child situation where the parent has authority, but maybe no influence. Yeah, we're not talking about building authority. We're talking about building influence.
Last night. Afterwards, that was one of the last ones to leave.
Okay. I was like, is that a question? Is that a question? Okay. And you can lose influence, can't you? Right? You can lose both authority and influence. So influence is, again, this middle part of the funnel: attract, influence, enroll. And it's critically important. It's a critically important part of the sales process. Now, there's two forms of influence: offline influence, right? Which is how you're viewed in your real community, right? Like, what does my community here in Guanajuato, Mexico think of me? How much do I pour into the community? Am I willing to help at the drop of a dime, right? Offline influence. Online influence is the same thing, but online. Now, nobody, and I mean no one, you can try to prove me wrong, but good luck. Nobody starts from zero influence and builds a massive business overnight. The people that you see come in and skyrocket, they have built that influence in the audience somewhere else. And then they just turned on the spigot and watched the enrollments flow. And we see this in smaller scales in businesses when we launch somebody who has offline influence within a community. One of my mentors in attraction marketing, I was lamenting the fact that I was thinking that my online influence was growing too slowly. And he said, okay, tell me about your business journey. And I said, well, I was in Shanghai for 7 years. And when I really started growing my business, I won a trip. I was like top enroller in the entire country. And he said, so wait, you were in Shanghai for 7 years before you turned on the spigot of your business, right? And I was like, yeah. And he said, oh, so you actually spent 7 years building influence, and then you just utilized that influence to get people into your living room because you had a product that you really wanted to share with them. And he said, okay, so can you spend the next 6 months or 12 months, not even, I mean, just a fraction of the 7 years really, to build that influence online to be able to have those same results? And I said, absolutely, right? Nobody starts from zero influence, either in person or online, and builds a massive business, right? They just don't. And so we can give ourselves a little bit of a break, friend. Give yourself a break, because we suffer from inaccurate expectations. We post an image, a sale, a research study, a lifestyle reel with the call to action of like, buy, and then nobody buys, right? Or your mom likes it. My mom loves every post. And I'm like, I love you, right? Like, mom is so supportive. But we start to think things like, my post didn't work, selling on social media doesn't work, why aren't people lining up for these? We get so passionate about our products because we love them. And then we go, I guess no one in my community wants what I have. And we start to feel down. And it's only because our expectations are inaccurate. And probably your behaviors, your skill set needs a little bit of a revamp. Yeah. These are not accurate thoughts, right? We just need to have a better understanding of the framework that we're operating in the attract, influence, and enroll phases. So let's go through that. I want each one of you to put your own hat on, not your leader hat, your own business builder hat. And I'm going to go through some of the results that you should be getting or could be getting in each stage of attraction marketing. So just take note, because at the end, I'm going to ask you, Are you in the attract phase, influence phase, or enroll phase online? Okay, here's the results that you would be getting if you are in the attraction phase. Are you clear on who you serve? Your unique target market. Remember, we all sell the same thing, friend. Who is it that you want to serve? Are you consistently creating content online geared only to that person that you want to attract? Are you having new followers every day, every week, every month? And do you have a strategy placed? And are you working that strategy to get the right people over to your page and your profile? Okay, these are the results that we can expect when we do the attraction behaviors that I'm going to talk about in a minute here. Influence. If you're in the influence phase, are you actually getting engagement on your posts? Shares, likes, comments, saves, and shares are the algorithm's favorite. Yeah. Are people responding to your calls to action? Now, are you genuinely connecting with people in DMs as a human, right? Somebody follows you. Are you going over and saying, hey, I love your stuff. Thanks for following me. What made you connect, right? Without asking for the sale. We're not dropping links. We're being human. That's what happens in the influence phase. Okay. And then on the enroll phase, are you having enrollment conversations with people? When you drop curiosity posts and ask for that hand up, are people responding to you? Are they putting their own hand up, self-electing to work with you, right? Are they buying anything? Are you having any what we call click and buy sales? It's a product between 50, 85 bucks where you've done all of the marketing correctly so that when someone's like, hey, I want what you have, there's the link. Those are called click and buy sales. Possible? Absolutely. I had 2 last week. Okay. Now, are there any action in your DMs? People going, hey, what are you doing? I love what you're doing. I love what I see. Okay. So I want you in the chat, self-diagnose where you are in the attract, influence, and enroll phase. Are you in A, I, or E? Katie says she's in the attract phase, but slow on follows. Okay. Attract, influence, or enroll. Which phase are you in currently in your business? Am I frozen? Because I am not seeing anything come through. Okay, there we go. Manisha, attract. Yvonne, not yet started phase. Brilliant. Danielle, attract. I with a little bit of E, says Victoria, attract. Nancy, A with a little bit of I. Guess I'm pre-A. I love it. A. Okay, amazing. If you are in, okay, Elizabeth, she's in E, but has a different strategy going on. Okay, no worries. If it's working for you, guess what? Do more of it. Okay, Valor's in the influence stage. Brilliant. All right. So we've identified that. Here's the truth that if you are in the attraction or the influence phase, you cannot expect enrollments online. So you can give yourself a break and just breathe, right? We are suffering again from inaccurate expectations of what it actually takes to build a brand online that is attractive enough for your customers to come and put their hand up with you, to work with you. Okay, so you can breathe if you're in the attract and influence phase. Now, one of the things that it's important to note about building online is it takes time. And so if you're in the attract and influence phase, I want you to set your timeline to 90 days to 180 days to even make your first sale. Okay. And so the time to do this work online is when you're not desperate for enrollments to grow your business. You can see online marketers who are desperate for a sale because they skip the critical steps of attraction and influence. They go straight to enrollment and then they're spammy Sammy, yeah, and they're not actually making the sale. So if you need your business to convert now, keep building in person because statistically, it's the best way to build your business now. And while you're doing that, build for the future by putting this into effect online. Yeah. Okay. Once I understood this, I had to have a good chat with myself, understanding that this requires time, I had to reevaluate my strategy. Most of us, when we get online, we think, well, other people are making online sales, so I should be able to make online sales. And again, false expectation, right? If you don't learn the skill sets to do this, that we're going to walk into in about 30 seconds, then you're going to be wasting your time online, spinning your wheels. Okay. So the good chat that I had with myself was when I said, I have got to find people who can mentor me through this, because I was wading in the deep end, working and working and working, not getting results, and then feeling super disappointed in myself, a little bit like a fraud, or like somebody who didn't know what I was doing, an amateur. Like, I'm not an amateur. You get me in a room of 100 people, I'll sell 80 of them, right? But all of a sudden I went online and I was like, man, this is not working. So that's a good chat that you can have with yourself is, if you want to build online effectively, are you willing to do what it takes to learn the skill sets? Okay. Now, here we go. Let's get tactical. Okay, we're going to get tactical and learn how to attract, influence, and enroll on social media. Step number one, get crystal clear on who you serve and how you serve them. Now, if you dropped your name and email in here, you can have this PowerPoint. So if you're a note taker, brilliant. But if you don't want to take notes and you just want the PowerPoint for review, make sure that your name and email is dropped in the chat and I'll pick that up and get it to you. All right, crystal clear on who you serve and how you serve them. Remember, I said when you're having a class at your living room table, you can say, you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this. Online, we have one message for one type of human, and we're working to attract them. Okay, this is what gets them in the door. It doesn't mean that once they're in the door, that they don't have access to everything that you offer. But what's the one product that's going to get them in the door? And what's the one major problem that they have that you can solve, that's going to help attract them to you? Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to identify our target market first. And the reason this is so important is because the marketer who knows their target market the best wins. Have you ever read marketing copy, an advertisement, and you went, oh my gosh, they're like in my brain? You are far more likely to respond positively to that advertisement than something that's completely off mark. Yeah. So by getting into your target market, you will win over somebody who does not understand who it is that they're trying to serve. Now, the difference between the target market and the avatar, because you've probably heard these two terms before. The target market is a market of at least 10 million people who share common challenges, right? It doesn't matter what country they're from. It doesn't matter how old they are. It doesn't matter their economic status necessarily, but they're not sleeping, right? Their main problem is that they're not sleeping, and it doesn't matter what country they're from or what they look like, right? Target market, we want to identify a group of 10 million, because we want a nice big market to play with, that have common issues. An avatar, also important, but different. An avatar is somebody in one person out of those 10 million that might have a face, a name, an economic status, how many kids they have, so that when you create your content, you remember that you're creating content that connects with that one person, right? The worst thing we can do when we get online is go, hey guys, because I'm watching the video by myself lying in bed at night and I'm like, guys, that's not personal, right? And so the avatar helps remind you that you're talking to one person. Now, the demographics happen in the avatar, the age, the occupation, the status, but the psychographics are far more important to our work online. The psychographics in this group of 10 million people target market helps identify their problems, their fears, their short-term wants, and their long-term desires, and also adds in a section for the lingo that they're already speaking. As marketers, we must learn how to speak the language that our target market is speaking, not the language that we use. You are much more learned than your average customer will ever be. So by identifying what words they're using, you're going to connect with them better. The target market work that I'm going to show you in a minute helps you get into their head. Now, again, if you've ever listened to something, you're like, man, they know me. I just feel so seen and vulnerable right now. Or like they're saying things that I've never even dared to say out loud. That creates that connection, instant, know, like, and trust, right? When you can articulate the words that someone else is feeling that maybe they haven't even been able to articulate yet. Okay. That is the power of understanding the person that you are serving. The next thing we need to do is create a very succinct, what we call target market statement. The people that I work with are what sort of demographic? Okay. Who struggle with, what are their struggles, their problems, their fears? The number one that keeps them up at night. I help them by, what do you do? What is your brand promise? What is the thing that you want to be known for in the marketplace? And then so they can, what's the desired outcome that they want? Here's an example. People I work with are menopausal women who struggle with hot flashes and insomnia. I help them by offering holistic health solutions so that they can love the stage of life again. Now, please note that I help them by has to be greater than the product that you have in mind. Remember, you must be able to help them, whether they buy from you, join your team. You've got to have some sort of content that's useful to them, even if they never spend a dime. Okay. So I help them by offering an essential oil blend is not good enough. Okay. We need to broaden what we do to be able to help them. Okay. Now, let's see what the target market exercise looks like. If you put your email in there, then you are going to get a copy of this. All right. You're going to get a blank copy, which is awesome, so that you can play with it. I've got a bunch of target markets because every time I create something new, I create a new target market. So here's the target market that you belong to. Here's my target market statement. Okay. I help motivated network marketers who want to attract their perfect prospects and build a thriving business online without home parties or cold or spammy cold messaging. Okay. You, if you're here and you're resonating with this content, are likely in that target market statement. Now, what are the problems that I believe some of you, most of you are facing on a day-to-day basis? Because these are the problems that I was facing on a day-to-day basis before I found these strategies. Okay. So problem number one, she's getting zero results with her spammy hey girl messages that she thinks she needs to post in order to get new leads. Okay. Now, when my company was launching into India, I had a brilliant idea to send 50 spammy messages a day to people that I found on Instagram. In the first 2 days, I was all excited. I was getting one response in 50. And then on day 3, because consistency is not my forte, I was like, this is awful. I don't want to do this anymore. Is sending those messages, if you can get enough volume of them out there, might you turn a couple new partners? Maybe, but is that how you want to build your business? Okay. So for me, part of the language here, if it's offensive, she fears rejection and feeling like a jack all the time. I hated sending those messages on day 3 because I was spammy Sammy and it made me feel icky. And it wasn't the energy that I wanted to approach my business with. So what do I want in that? What do you want in that? You want to attract the right people to you, right? To become the hunted rather than the hunter. Limitless, spelled incorrectly, leads coming into your inbox every day so that you can have genuine conversations and help people. Yeah. And then the dream is the loftier vision. Okay. I wanted people coming to me and never having to prospect again. Okay. So this tells one complete story. Now, there are 4 baseline desires that we can identify in here: time freedom, health freedom, money freedom, or relationship freedom. This is a mix of relationship freedom. She doesn't like feeling icky towards other people. Time freedom, because it took me far too long to find 50 relevant profiles every day. And money freedom, it was a waste of my time. I wasn't getting the results I wanted. Okay. Now, the lingo column over here, what we do is we kind of scan each one of these columns And we ensure that we're speaking the language that our prospect is speaking, right? This is lingo, this is jargon that your prospect understands that maybe the average market does not. Okay. Then there's a personal story over here of you trying to connect into whichever, when you start to tell your story because you experienced it, you are going to have much better connection levels with your target market. Okay. Let's go to another one. She's experiencing so much rejection online. She's trying to give it up. No one's teaching her effective online strategies. She sees people winning. This was totally me, but I didn't know how to get there for myself. Spending too much time in belly to belly, taking too much time away from her family, understand that time is fleeting with her kids. She's no longer willing to trade her time for a little bit of money. Yeah. Are any of these resonating with you? Drop a 5 in the chat if you're like, yeah, this is actually me, right? Feels stuck in her hometown circle of influence, doesn't want to bug friends and family anymore, doesn't want to belong to the no friends left club, right? What's working for her before is no longer working. Her business isn't growing. She's frustrated, lost, confused, and she needs to up her game. Fears her business shrinking even more than it already has. That was me. Okay. And the dream is growing a growing business, thriving business that you can put on automate and have it run smoothly. Okay. Potential. I work with motivated network marketers, not struggling network marketers. I want to work with network marketers who know their potential and just need help to uncrack it. Yeah. This is the power of this. Now, I did a post yesterday that many of you saw, and I went through and I was like, let me open up that target market table. What are the pains she's experiencing? Pain, pain, dream, dream, because it's all here. You will never run out of content again, my friend. Now, let me do something. Another target market. This is a product target market of mine. Okay. I help high achieving women do what? Overcome brain fog, fatigue, and mood swings. Why? So they can regain their vitality and joyfully experience life again. Now, if you're in doTERRA, I lead with our LLV, okay, which is a supplement kit, if you're not sure what that is. And here are the problems that I was experiencing, that my target market is experiencing. Okay, chronic fatigue, dragging herself through the day, the exhaustion, right? Wants vitality, energy, boundless energy. She's not experiencing that right now. She's also in brain fog. It just won't lift, can't focus, can't make decisions. Yeah. Mood swings. Oh boy. Insomnia. Right. So I chose brain fog, fatigue, and mood swings because those are the 3 things that this particular product address. So in terms of my content, I talk brain fog, fatigue, mood swings, moms, high achievement, leadership, right? Because that's what's going to connect to this type of woman. Yeah. Let's see if I have another one in here. You're going to get a blank one. You're going to get one that looks, oh, yes, you're going to get a blank one. Don't worry. Okay. Autoimmune sufferers. This is another target market I was working on. Clearly, it's not done, right? I suffer from autoimmune. I was playing with a new target market because this is an ever evolving process. Anxiety around not having a clear diagnosis, feeling confused while trying to seek effective medical care. Yeah. And then you go through and you just fill it out step by step by step by step. Yeah. Okay. Let me check your chat. Yes. Brilliant. All right. Now, you're going to get a copy of that. And honestly, if you do nothing else, if you learn nothing else from these entire 2 hours together, do the target market exercise. Okay. It will change your marketing in such a profound way that it's almost like you won't be able to help finding success online if you really dial in on that target market. Okay. Now, here's the power of that target market exercise. Clarity, clarity, clarity for both you, which is the most important part of clarity, is clarity for you. Have you ever sat there going, what do I post today? What do I post? Do I post my salad? Do I post my kids? Like, what do I post? You go to your target market exercise, friend, and you have limitless content. Okay. You're always also going to connect to the right people. Now, when you start putting target market specific content out on your page, you might get crickets And that tells me that you don't have a lot of your target market yet within your friend and follower group, and that's okay. Okay. I'm going to show you how to actually go and find the right people and bring them over to your profile in just a minute. Target market exercise filters out those who are not in your target market. Okay. If you are not high achieving, if you're not driven, I am going to drive you nuts unless you respect me as a coach. Right. And so when I changed my target market statement to say high achieving women, you know what that did? It gave me 100% permission on my own page to be 100% me. Because if you don't resonate, that's okay. Here's the coolest thing about people who don't resonate with you online. You're never going to face the rejection because you're never going to know. They're just going to come through your little land, your little social media ecosystem, your profile or your page, and then they're going to leave. You're never going to even know. It's brilliant. But then the people who follow you, if you're clear on who you're serving, then guess what? They're going to be your people. How cool is that? Okay, it's almost like a rejection-proof way to build your business. It's beautiful. Now, here's the most common target market mistakes that I see as a coach, being vanilla, right? You have being yourself in a world where people are petrified of authenticity is offensive. Whether we intend to offend or not, I have had people say, man, you're pretty intense. And I'm like, I'm just being me, friend. If it's not for you, that's okay, right? Being afraid to be yourself because you don't want to lose friends and followers will get you nowhere, okay? Now, this takes bravery, it takes courage, and in my opinion, it takes community. You need to surround yourself with people who are doing the work to slowly peel back the layers of the onion. You don't strip naked right away, right? But you begin to get more comfortable with who you are and the parts of yourself that you're showing to the world when you start to attract the audience that loves it. Right? Again, most of us start online with friends and family who most of them are not rooting for our growth. They're rooting for us to stay the same so that they have permission to stay the same. Okay. And so let me pull up the chat. Okay, Chitska, great to see you. Okay. So you've got to be willing to be you to attract the right customer. Okay. Now, the problem set here, the assignment for you is to complete the target market exercise. Again, drop your name and email in the chat if you want a copy of that. You don't have to do it on Excel. Yeah, you can do it on pen and paper. I just find Excel a little bit more easier to manage. I'm going to give you a Google sheet and then start to play with your target market statement. Now, some people complete the target market exercise first and then do the statement. Some start with the statement and then work on the exercise. It doesn't super matter which order you do it, as long as you do both of them. Okay, you do both of them. Okay, now, here's a bonus exercise that will continue to give you more clarity. What is your hero product? Out of all of the products that your company sells, what's the one gateway product, okay, that you could lead with that solves a particular problem? For example, let's go through. In order to do this, we need to identify the problems that the hero product solves and match it with an outcome that your target market actually desires, right? If you're trying to sell a weight loss product, but your target market doesn't desire weight loss, then that's not the right match. Yeah, let's go back to my example, right? My hero product is the supplements because that's what has literally saved my life as a mom. And it solves brain fog, fatigue, and mood swings. So then you see the creation of my target market statement because I know that I'm leading people towards that LLV purchase. Okay, that's my goal. If you're going to start a product with me, I want you on LLV as a high achieving mom because you can function better as a human. And then maybe we can start getting into some of the more unique things that your family is experiencing. Okay, so this is how all of this strategically begins to marry together to craft your personal brand. Okay, now let's get into more nitty-gritty about how do you create content that attracts and influences every single time. If this is you, you sit and go, why did that content do its job? And why did that content flop? Or maybe you're just producing content and you don't even know your intention behind the content. This part, pay attention, okay? So there's two ways to attract and influence. We can post on our own page. That's an internal strategy. Or we can leverage other content, other groups, etc. That's external strategy. So let's go through both of them. Okay. So these are the external strategies. Okay. When you join Facebook groups where your target market is hanging out, or you follow influencers who are serving your target market, you can gain a ton of traction by commenting thoughtfully and posting thoughtfully in those groups. Okay. We do this with authority. We never, ever, ever mention our product. And the whole point of this is to intrigue people enough to come and check you out on your social media page. Okay. And I'm sure you've done this. Someone posts a comment, and either both ways, someone posts a mean comment or a way out of left field comment, and you go, who is that person? You go and stalk them, right? Or somebody posts a comment and you're like, that was really thoughtful. Who are you? I think I like you. I'm going to go see what you do. Yeah. So in order to do this effectively, your social media profile has to be crystal clear using your target market statement on who it is that you're serving. Yeah. So that when they go over there, it's not blurry or fuzzy whether or not somebody wants to follow you. Either they resonate or they don't, and that's okay. Now, the other strategy here is to comment on ads that you think your target market like that they might like. And how do you know this? It's because ads probably attracted you too. The strategy here is interesting. People who run ads pay attention to people who comments on their ads, because a comment on the ad boosts the ad authority. And so I'm running ads, and when people comment on my ad, I stalk them left, right, and down the middle. Okay. So commenting on ads, don't skip ads. How many of you just skip all of the ads you see in your feed? Okay. You are a professional online marketer. You read those ads and you try to find, do you think it'd be effective? Why not? That's free online marketing education. Okay. Read those ads. Now, the other thing that you do in groups is you reach and you find people who seem like your target market, right? And then you go into their ecosystem, their page, you like, you comment, you follow, you add value to their posts. If I came, you didn't know me, and I came to your page and I liked and I commented and I liked and I commented, what would you do? You'd go check me out, right? You wouldn't just go, oh, I wonder who Allie is. Nope. If you're a savvy online marketer, you're going to go check me out. And if you're good at what you do, you're going to reciprocate. Okay. And then we're going to start that relationship. So this is how you leverage social media platforms to attract and influence on your page. And here's what's working primarily in each system, in each stage. In order to attract, reels dominate, because reels are sent outside of your little ecosystem to strangers, and that's what's going to pull them to come over and check out your page. Okay, reels dominate there. Now you'll notice reels are also in the influence stage, and reels are also in the enroll stage. So if you have one piece or one type of content to master currently on social media, it's reels. It's short form video content, right? And so attract, I want you to think about attract as going out and finding your people to bring them to your page. Once they're on your page, we can influence. So we use stories to influence, reels, posts, and lives to influence, okay, to educate, to build our know, like, and trust factor. And then what's working for enrolling, I'm going to add stories to that. Most enrollment comes through DM, okay, online, unless you have enough influence over time where you can throw up a link in a story, and all that. That's when you begin to know that you've really grown some online influence. When you're not even having DM conversations with people to enroll them, they're just enrolling from a cart link, right? Somewhere. So master Reels. Master Reels. Now, this blows this up a little bit. What types of content works? Reels and lives, oops, here because they go outside of your ecosystem. Live because you can boost it. If you have a live that gets a lot of attention, you can boost it. Boosted post takes money. It's not an organic strategy that takes time. Okay. Now, all of this in order to work is mastering the art of stopping the scroll with effective hooks. Now, in a couple slides here, I have 2 slides of hooks that you can play with. But if you do not learn how to write a hook that stops the scroll, you will not be successful online. Okay. We're going to talk about that in depth in a minute. Hashtags are working to get your content outside of your ecosystem to draw the right people. 6 to 9 tends to be working on most platforms right now. Some people say 8+. Jade and I, we were looking at someone's data. They put 38 on one reel. That's probably a little bit too much. Stick with some main hashtags and some lookalike hashtags where you feel like you're going to get the right traction. Okay. Now over in influence, we still have reels, lives, and boosted posts, but these here in bold are things that are only viewed by people who come check out your profile. Okay. And so lead magnets to get someone on an email sequence, offering something for free in order to get their email. Most sales online still happen in the back end through email sequences. So having something, a specific lead magnet designed for your specific target market is critical here. An image post, which is just a regular post with an image, a color block post, which is where you put the color behind it. You have a limited amount of characters and you can pin it to the top. Pin posts are super important. Pin posts, if you have a post that does really well, pin it to the top of your profile so that everyone who comes looks at that pin post first. And it looks like you are a person of influence, that you're able to attract the right people to you. Okay. Stories are also important here in influence. Now, under Enroll, reels are still working, stories are working. And what this requires is a strong call to action for people to put their hand up to work with you. However, it can only be 10 or 20% of the time. So 1 or 2 in every 8, 10, 12 posts, you can put a direct call to action in. Now, we want to use this sporadically, or you risk losing influence. Yeah, if you stop teaching and educating and entertaining, and you just replace it with sales, 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 you're going to risk losing your influence over the people that you've worked hard to influence. And your goal here, when you put a call to action in there, is to get into DM conversation. Okay. And there's a specific enrollment conversation that you can have online to help them dig deeper into their problems and offer that solution. Okay. Now, what does this look like practically in what we call a DMO, a daily mode of operation? I want you to imagine that your activity is that water being poured into the attraction cup. Okay. So once you do the work to attract, once that water is filled, what's going to happen? It's going to spill over into the influence cup. Okay. But then get this, you don't take your water source and start pumping it solely into influence, or your attract cup is going to go dry. Yeah. And so what we want to do is always think about creating content that's bringing the right people to us, attracting the right people, because some are going to spill over to the influence cup. And when the influence cup is filled and you put up a post that says, hey, work with me, hey, buy this, hey, solve this specific problem, that's when you can start to see those enrollments come in. Okay, that's why I want you to set your timeline depending on how much work you've already done to attract the right people to you. I want you to set your timeline to a 90-day, 6-month process of building your attraction, filling that cup, filling the influence cup before you start to see those enrollments really start rolling in. Okay? Now, here's what you could do. This is bare minimum, an example of a daily mode of operation for you. 1 reel, 10 thoughtful comments in target market relevant groups, 5 thoughtful comments on posts or ads relevant to your target market. So here's the difference between those two. Your groups, you need to go and find groups. This is a strategy we'll talk about in the book club, but you need to find groups where your people are hanging out. And by you putting thoughtful comments there, people are going to come check out your page. Okay. Now, the thoughtful comments on posts or ads relevant to your target market, maybe in your groups, you've gone and you've followed people who you think are your target market. Now they're going to start popping up in your feed. You're going to start writing thoughtful comments over on their posts, okay? Building up that attraction power. Now, influence, you can use that very same reel. So 1 reel a day with 1 story and a live per week. So a story per day and 1 live per week. Now, this is bare minimum. Obviously, the more you can pump into this, the faster you're going to learn, which means the faster you can tweak, which means the faster you're going to see results. Okay. But for most people, when they're building, they have to create a DMO that they can actually execute on consistently. Okay. Katie, keep that question to the end, love, because hold that one and don't let it get lost, please. Okay. Next thing, what is the $10 million skill set required to attract, influence, and enroll online? I want you to guess while I have a little sip of water. Let me pop open that chat again. $10 million skill set if you want to win online. What is it? Okay, Victoria says consistency. Mindset, also very important, but not the skill set. What's the skill set? Confidence, authenticity, all very important. Communication. All right, Tracy, I'm going to give that to you. It is copywriting. How do you get so good at connecting with that target audience? You learn how to connect with them through copywriting. Now, you might be thinking, but Allie, I'm doing reels. Guess what? Your hooks, your caption, it's all copywriting. Even what you say in a live or a video is still copywriting. And here's the thing, my friends, you're not going to like hearing this, but here's the thing. Chat GPT won't cut it. And here's why. Any AI, when you ask it to write something for you, one, most of us don't know how to prompt it correctly to get anything quality. Two, ChatGPT, any AI, they're scouring the internet, which is full of bad copy, ineffective copy. And so I use AI every day, but you still have to be the brain behind the tech and understand the tenets of good copywriting so that you can be more effective online. So here is what we call the ice cream sandwich method. Now, presumably the one on the right is more tasty, except for the one on the left has like beautiful childhood memories for me. It was like my favorite ice cream growing up. So anyway, this is a hard thing for me because I would prefer the one on the left, the little simple one. However, I understand here the ice cream sandwich method. When you have a hook that stops the scroll, we call it an attention grabber. It's what makes you go, oh, that's for me, subconsciously. Then the ice cream in the middle is the value or the education that you bring, something actionable perhaps to help your target audience move forward. And then the bottom cookie is the call to action. What is it that you want them to do? So every piece of content you write, every video, every caption needs to have these 3 pieces in order to be effective. Not bland, yet yummy, like the other ice cream cookie sandwich over there. Now, let me give you a story. I don't want you to read it yet. Let me give you a story. In January, I was at an attraction marketing event in LA, and I missed my youngest daughter's 8th birthday because of it. And it was her birthday day. I was in LA. She was here in Mexico. And I said, well, I got to do a happy birthday post for my kid. Now, I could have done happy birthday, baby. and it would have gotten likes and it would have been effective, presumably. However, I don't post anything on my personal profile, which is my branded hub, without being target market specific. So who is my target market? High achieving women, mostly moms. Okay. And so I was sitting there thinking, what can I post? What can I post? And I thought, well, there's two angles. One, I could talk about how sick I was when I gave birth to Margie, or I could talk about how I was willing to miss her birthday as an entrepreneur who was investing in herself. And I thought, oh, that might ruffle too many feathers. Let's go with the health one. So here's the post that I put on social media. Okay. And this is the reminder as you post anything, always stay relevant to your target market. So I'll read this out to you. You won't remember this, birthday girl, but 8 years ago when you were born, I was so sick. Hook. Now note here, all of this is like prime real estate up top before somebody has to do see more. I had 3 lines of hook. I wasn't sure I was going to make it. I had spent years neglecting myself, believing the pervasive lie that burnout was an unavoidable right of motherhood. Dot, dot, dot. Do you think that this would connect with moms who are feeling burned out, who are neglecting themselves? Yeah. Now, you and your big sister suffer with a sick mommy who couldn't mother you well. You don't remember it, but I do. And one day I had had enough. Stake in the ground. You deserved better. It was my undying love for you girls that fueled my commitment to becoming well and gave me the courage to find solutions. Thank you for this. Thank you for this. Happiest 8th birthday to you, Margie. I love you more than you'll ever know. And may my story empower you, Margie, to always care for your well-being because you'll always be worth it. Note there's no direct call to action. But I had 2 people reach out and said, man, does this resonate? What did you do? Because it's on target market. Okay. So you want to really spend that time focusing on your target market, because this was not hard to write because I knew who I was writing for, right? I was writing to Allie 8 years ago when I had Margie and I was sick as a dog. It was not hard. Now, did it get the vanity metrics that maybe a happy birthday, let's wish my baby a birthday post got? No, but it got relevant metrics. It connected with the people it was meant to connect with. We're not after vanity metrics, we're after connection, right? Influence, real, raw, authentic. You should go and look at the comments under this. I feel seen. That's my story. Okay. Always stay on target market. Now, here's some hooks that you can play with. Okay. There are some here that are designed to ruffle feathers and sift out the target market from the riffraff. For example, this might ruffle some feathers, but unpopular opinion. I had a reel that said unpopular opinion, why sometimes it's okay to lie to your children. And it was about, for 6 months, we lied to our girls about their best friend coming to visit from China to Mexico. And I filmed them like when they arrived at the house, right? And it was like, unpopular opinion, why it's okay to lie to your kids. That got tons of views. And it was a little bit of a twist at the end. This might ruffle some feathers, but stop doing this if you want X results. You're going to sift those who resonate with you and those who don't. This is a message for exhausted, high achieving mamas. Okay. This is a message for women over 50 who want to stop the aging process. Why I will never X as a, 3 things I would never do as a mom of 4. 3 things I would never do as an adoptive medical mom. Yeah. How I'm enrolling 3 to 7 people per week online without sending spammy messages. Okay. Here's how I got 3 to 7 here's how I got 2 enrollments last week without prospecting a single person. Yeah, that did happen. I could use it as a hook. Okay. The one thing that helped me get to, the one thing that helped bring peace in my home, the one thing that helped me sleep like a baby at night. Okay. See how these are working? This may be controversial, but stop drinking tap water. It's not super controversial, but for a lot of people, they'd be like, what? This is your reminder to squeeze your kids at night, right? This is your reminder to turn off your screens 2 hours before bed, whatever. Here's how you're finally going to sleep through the night like a baby again. My favorite sleep hack that most people don't know. Stop wasting time doing this, right? Stop wasting time contacting 50 people a day, cold messaging. Yeah. Steal my online marketing strategy, steal my sleep strategy, steal my weight loss strategy. One thing I stopped doing too, lose 10 pounds in 2 months. Okay. This is the biggest mistake high achieving women are making right now. This is the biggest mistake entrepreneurial moms are making right now. Okay. You insert your target market there. Okay. So remember, this is the top of the cookie. Then you create content in the middle using your target market table. Okay. Then you have a call to action at the end. Yep. Some hooks you can play with. Now, lots of people say, well, how do I actually add value to your audience? I have something very simple, yet very actionable that you can play with. Value as an acronym. First one, V stands for vulnerability. Are you being as vulnerable as you are comfortable with? And maybe even stepping over that line a little bit, like putting a toe over the line to just test how the market takes it. Yeah. Again, don't strip yourself bare and naked. Just one more layer of the onion, one more layer of the onion. Are you being 100% or are you whitewashing your story to make you the hero rather than being willing to connect authentically with the audience? Okay. Number 2, A, is it actionable? Okay. Do you have that ice cream in the middle where there's something really to take away from it? Are you being helpful by giving actionable advice? L, is it a lesson learned from you personally or from someone you coach or for someone in your world? Your content can help somebody speed past all of the failures and learnings that you've had to help them get better results. Are you sharing your lessons learned? And the U is your content unique to you? Is it unique to your story? Again, tied in with vulnerability, are you willing to bear a little bit to make that connection to help people connect with you authentically? And is it engaging? If you're funny, be funny. If you're serious, be serious. If you are an educator, educate. But is it engaging or are you boring? If your content's boring, you got to be a little bit better on making it engaging. Now, here's the cool thing. When you put out a reel, let's say, or a piece of content, you can use this as a litmus test. Was I vulnerable? Is it actionable? Did I share something that I learned? Is it really me or am I trying to be somebody else? And do I think it's engaging? The more checks you can check off here, the more valuable it will be to your audience. Okay, so that's how you add value to your audience. I like to learn and I like to teach in frameworks so that you go home with some really actionable things that you can start implementing right away. Now, here is your action plan. Now, don't feel overwhelmed. I'm going to give you an opportunity for coaching over the next month to coach you through every single one of these steps. You can do it on your own, but don't panic. Okay. So we're going to complete that target market exercise and we're going to complete the target market statement, right? I help high achieving women, blah, 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 blah. Target market exercise is identifying the problems, the fears, the wants, and the desires. We're going to do those 2 things. Guys, that is the baseline of all of the work that you're going to do. All of it. You can't skip this step. Okay. Can't skip this step. Now, next, you're going to create a banner image for the top of your profile using your statement. And let me show you what that looks like. Here's me. When you come to my page, you see a couple of things. There's my target market statement. I help high-performing women overcome those 3 things. Why? So they can do this. Okay. Then you see over here, I have a shortened bio. Yeah. And you'll notice that you will not see the name of my company anywhere. You do not know what I sell, what I represent, nothing. Okay. Which leads me to the next thing. Why in the world do we want to clean up our profile? Okay, so let's say that you're in a group and you find a good group filled with prospects. Yeah. and they come over to your page and you have your products plastered all over. And just unfortunately, they have a neighbor or an annoying cousin who has pounded down their door for the last 3 years about getting them to try these products. And they go, oh God, not another one. Okay. You have lost the opportunity to influence that person. You just have. Okay. Now, when you are a double presidential or whatever the top of your company is, and you have massive influence, then maybe that can shift. But in the beginning, you cannot afford to turn people away because they are bringing in their own preconceived notions about your company, about your brand. Maybe they've tried them and they didn't get results, or maybe they've tried a product like it and they've roped your product into the product that they bought at Whole Foods. Yeah. Clean up your profile because you are building you Inc., you incorporated, not your company's brand. And this is really hard for people when they first get started. And so my question to you is it working for you when you post a static image of a product or a promotion on your profile? Now, the only exception to this would be your stories. Okay, so if there's a sale, if there's a buy one, get one, if there's a whatever promo, your stories would be the exception of this because they disappear. Okay, but at the end of the day, the most succinct, effective online brands, they leave you guessing as to what they sell after you've already liked them. And I have people reach out weekly, guys, that go, gosh, I love your content. What do you sell? Right? Because they can't tell, but they like me. And so even if their neighbor was crazy, they go, well, you don't seem crazy. Huh. My customer, one of the customers from last week came over from a competing company. She goes, well, I really like you. And I hear your products are decent. Let's give it a go. Okay. That is effective attraction, effective influence, and effective enrollment online. Okay. This bothers most people. So my question for you is it working? Okay. Are you getting sales off of, yeah, you should go through, Katie, and you should delete old posts that feature your company. I went through and I just delete. If you have works at company name, get rid of that. You work at you Inc. because that's what you're building. Okay. Do not pigeonhole yourself by saying that you work at a company that you don't work at, right? You could be terminated from your company. You don't work for them. You don't own your list. You don't own any of that. The only thing you own is you Inc. You own your brand. So clean up your profile. Okay. Then you identify which phase of attraction, influence, and enroll you're in currently. Most of us still need to do attraction work. Yeah. Or keep doing attraction work to fill that pipeline. And then you create a content plan based on that phase that you're in. That's your daily method of operation. Okay. So once you've identified, you say, okay, I'm just going to stick with reels because they're great across all. And I'm going to go and do the work to clean up my profile, make it super attractive, and then go out and find the right people using this group strategy. Yeah. Then we practice our hooks. Okay. What is the point of going and finding people or creating all this content if you can't create a hook that stops the scroll? Okay. Use the templates, write 5 a day. I have a hook note in my phone. And when I need to create a reel, I just go through it and I'm like, that's applicable. Oh, let's pull that one. This is a $10 million skill set. And again, ChatGPT is like infamous for creating horribly ineffective hooks. This is one area that you really cannot outsource to ChatGPT. Okay, you've got to practice. Okay. Now, execute your DMO, your daily method of operation, consistently. So create something that you can for the next 90 days that you can really stick to. You miss a day, but consistency is your friend here. Okay. Then at the 30-day mark, you're going to evaluate. Remember, Your content isn't right or wrong. It's either it worked or it didn't work. And so what you're going to do is you're going to look at your top 3 performing content and your bottom 3 performing content, right? What didn't get the views, what didn't get the shares, what didn't get the calls to action, right? People putting their hand up. Then you're going to think critically. You're going to try to weave a thread through what they had in common and what might you produce more of if your target market, like if you already have the right people and you have the target market eyeballs on your content, then this is applicable. For most people, it takes them 30, 60, 90 days to even start getting the right people on there with their eyeballs. And so they just keep pumping out content, pumping out content, pumping out content to test. Okay. You are not pumping out content to enroll. You're pumping out content to test. And that changes the energy through which you approach social media. Listen, I was off of Western social media for 16 years in China. I hated it because it felt like a report card. Now it's a playground. My energy towards social media has completely shifted because of the evaluation process. Did it work? Was it effective? Was it not? What worked about it? What didn't work about it? Right? I've put the same video out and just changed the hook, and it's skyrocketed in views. I need to get better at writing my hooks. Okie dokie. Yeah. Test. Now, here's the cool thing. If you go, Allie, I want some help. I want some help with this. Okay. Next Monday, we're going to start what we call the Attraction Marketing Formula Book Club. So Attraction Marketing offers a $27 book. It's an ebook and a mini course on attraction marketing. I'm going to drop the links in the chat in a minute here. What we do over the next 4 weeks is we meet twice a week. Once for a book club review, 10, 15 minutes of what we learned from the book, and then about 45 minutes of teaching one of these key skills that all online network marketers need to grow their network marketing business online. Then you walk away with an action plan, with a bit of homework. Then you come on later on in the week. We'll take a poll and figure out which day works best because we're literally all across the world. And you bring your work for review, for group review, for hot seat review. Okay. We've done 2 book clubs already. We just finished the second one, and it has been unbelievably fun and effective. And in fact, I wonder, Jaden, are you still on the call? Jaden, can I put you on?
I am.
Jaden's on the call. Jaden just completed the book club. Jaden, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, it's really been fun to go through the book club. I mean, I've been in marketing my entire life, and you have a unique spin on the attraction marketing side that I never have. I tend to approach things through data, right? As a guy, right? Like, I don't necessarily want all the emotionality of things. It's either black or it's white to me. Now, sometimes there are 50 shades or more of gray in between that black and that white. And that's where a lot of the mass confusion comes from. But the book club really allowed me to get clear on the type of messaging I wanted to put out into the world. Because all of the work that I do in data is really understanding what's working on social media right now. But what your book club really allowed me to do is to take a look at the things that are attractive about me. How
Right.
I wanted to present myself to the world. And that was a paradigm shift for me. And I can't thank you enough for the 4 weeks. It was absolutely amazing.
Well, you're back. You're back for more, which is exciting. And so I appreciate you being present. I mean, really, the book club is what all of the participants bring to it. So, it really, you were a pleasure to coach, my friend. So I'm glad that you're back. And so that book club, guys, just here's some from the first book club that we did. Being able to stay in one's integrity and core values, right? Seeing positive results. It's only been a month. Mary was amazing. I feel, your help and your support, you make everyone feel at ease. This is something that I uniquely bring to the table, like Jaden said, because coaching is one of the things that I absolutely love. And so if 12 hours of free coaching sounds exciting to you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the share now. Let me pull up. There's 2 links that I need you to pay attention to. Okay. If your billing, so for the $27 book, if your credit card is in any of these countries, US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, and Ireland, then you're going to use this link. A little convoluted. Okay. That's the link for if your credit card, not if you physically, but if your credit card is in those countries, you're going to do that. If your credit card is in a different country, here's your link. Okay. We're going to start next Monday. And so once I have everyone in, I'm going to try to find the time that works best for the crew. Because again, we are literally all over the world. Okay. So it's worked so far well, right? Depending on both of the groups. And so if you want to join me and to do all of these baby steps over the summer, the reason I'm not pausing the book club over the summer, my friend, is because most people stop. And then they end up in the fall working like a crazy person because they took the summer off. The summer is the perfect time to learn. Even if you can't implement tons, it's the perfect time to learn, right? Because you're with your family, you're traveling, you're doing your thing. My encouragement to you is to really dig in this summer. And if this is like brand new to you, if you're like, I know nothing, then this is the time to start. Because if you start now, come fall, you can turn some enrollments if you do the work. Okay. But if you wait to fall to learn, then you're looking at winter to turn some enrollments. Okay, so I want you, the futuristic part of my brain is like, when do you want to be able to start turning enrollments? Work back 60, 90, 120 days. That's when you start. Because you need to be gentle with yourself so that you can learn the skills properly. Okay. All right. Let me open the lines for any Q&A. If I missed a question in the chat, or if you have specific questions.
So Allie, I have a question. We keep saying Monday. Monday's like the worst day of the week for me. And I'm sure there's other people going, oh, why that day, right? Because no day is ever going to be perfect for everybody. But if I can never make the call because of the time or whatever, I know they'll be recorded. Is it still, am I going to understand, get the value? Is there going to be a chat group where I can ask questions if I'm having to watch the whole thing recorded?
Well, Jaden could probably answer that because Jaden only came to 2 out of the 8 live sessions, and the other 6 you watched. So what was your experience with that, Jaden? You're muted. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So in my book club, what we ended up doing is we ended up meeting on Monday at 6 p.m. Central Time, and that was the day that we actually did the book club. Then 2 days later, we actually had an office hours, which was at the same time on Wednesdays. So what we did is we actually got to read the book and discuss the chapters on the Monday. And so we all read the chapters during the rest of the week, but then we had a discussion about that and an open discussion about the content of the book on the very first day. Then you had a couple days to implement. You had a couple days to fill out that worksheet that she brought up onto the screen so that on Wednesday, you could bring all of your questions, all of your concerns, all of, hey, I'd like some feedback on this. And that's where you were able to get more of that one-on-one support, which was actually where everybody got the gold. And so there's 2 opportunities to that. And the other benefit of that is because you get the recordings of that also, you get to watch and you get to see Allie process through 4, 5, 6, 7 people's questions on each one of the office hours. And so you might be able to steal one of their questions and be able to fill out part of your worksheet because of the way she coached the other people.
So it was effective for you, even though you weren't on live every time, you could still garnish value from the recordings.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Who else has questions?
So I had a question that you told me to come back to.
Yes.
It was about when you were talking about like Facebook and you're like commenting on like Facebook groups and stuff. Should you use your personal page or should you really start using your page, like your business page?
So that changes for everybody. I don't have a business page because I am branding Ali Inc. So everything comes off of my profile. Okay, so I'm commenting as my profile. The only page I have is a coaching page for attraction marketing strategies. But if you come to my page, you don't know which company I'm with. And so a business page could become irrelevant if you're really leaning into attraction marketing strategies, because that business page is going to have all the products, all the this, all the that, right? That's actually kind of the antithesis of attraction marketing. Now,
But like when on Facebook, like your personal like feed is like your friends and family and stuff like that. You don't want to keep adding strangers to let them see your feed, right?
so I do, because it's everything I do is for business on Facebook. I'm not there for pleasure. So
Can I add, Allie, my experience, because I have been whiplashed all over the place the last 4 years, right? Because I was in China as well, didn't do social media, came back with the pandemic and was like, very similar story. And I was told, get a business page, so I went over there and I did all this effort, all this work, all this time. And you know who follows me over there? My already team, really. And then I was told, not so long ago, but maybe 6 months ago or so, you don't need that business page. You really just need your personal profile, because that's where your people are. I shifted over there with this, don't tell my company, but start adding value, start talking about my life, start talking to my avatar generally. And it exploded. And now my business page, I'm sitting there going, do I just take it down? I don't know.
But what happens if you just want to like, there are some posts that you just want to share with friends and family and you don't want everyone to see it.
you can put your friends and family in groups, and then you can select which posts you want, which people you want to see which posts. You have to organize your content or your contacts a little bit in order to do that, but it's totally possible.
And again, I'm very much like Allie, where I'm only on social media for business. So I'm not, if I want my friends and family to see something, I'm probably in Telegram or however I communicate with that family group.
Yeah. So Katie, you might have to organize your people a little bit, right? Put your friends and family. Yeah. Anyone who follows you, you can put them in a follower group, right? Anyone who's a hot lead, you can make a hot lead group. Yeah. I'm starting to put an attraction marketing group in my personal profile, because that's a niche market where I don't have a lot of attraction, like a lot of network marketers following me. And I don't want to start.
So when someone requests to add you as a friend, you just accept everyone?
Most people follow me. I do not. If you can set your profile to have follow over friend, the people who friend me are spammers. People who follow me are actual followers, it seems like.
Are we talking about the same thing? I don't know if
May I interrupt? Because I think you're already stepping into the training with diving deeper with these questions. And Katie, I totally get it that some things are quite confusing and new things come to the table. I would say we have Facebook, we have Insta, we have LinkedIn, we do certain things until now. I think that I like to stop with a very open mind into your book club training, Ali, because I think I get the answers that for the questions that Katie has now, instead of diving into those specific questions for now. And Katie, I totally get it that these questions pop up, but I think the training is for us to experience, and like Jaden just said, talking together about the chapters in the book and then say to one another, what are you going to try out tomorrow? Oh, I'm going to try out this, or I'm going to build in my Facebook group something for my private people and something for my more business people. Until the end, I might realize that my private people are also my business people, because partly they go through the same and they understand that I use it for my business. So I
Yeah,
just
know
want to
that you're
encourage you.
joining the book club, and I promise you, Katie, you will have these answers, these questions answered. I promise you. It'll be crystal clear by the time you're through with this next book club. Okay. So it takes everyone's individual strategy is a little different based on what you want to create. Right. And so we're so used to gurus saying this is the way you do it, and that is just not effective, because the way that you do it versus the way that I do it versus the way it's what you'll learn in the book club is the reasoning behind why you might do it this way, and the reasoning why you might do it this way. And then you get to decide how you set yourself up with all of these different personal hubs and how to help them work together in one system so you can save some time. Okay. So I know that you're already in, Katie. We will help you answer all these questions. Yvonne.
Yeah, I'd just like to know also for my people, will you cover the difference in what will be your gain by focusing on Facebook? Like, I know you focus at the moment on Facebook, and what public, let's say, looks at Insta and who's looking at LinkedIn. So what platform to use? Like, not as the answer now, but are you focusing on that as well?
Yes. And here's the cool thing that I've learned over the last 2 book clubs is people know where their people are. Based on, and we can look at some of the strategies that we can look at to identify that. For me, I have the most engagement on Facebook. So that's where I focus. If you prefer Instagram, the attraction marketing strategies are the same, right? Except you're not looking at groups, you're looking for influencers, smaller influencers, not millions of followers influencers, smaller 5 to 10 to 15,000 follower influencers, where you can go and make an impact by commenting on their posts. So strategies are the same, platform depends. And there's like a TikTok strategy and the Instagram strategy. And so yes, we will get into that 100%. Strategies.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Allie, I have a quick question because I was purchasing the book and there's a couple of upsells. Like, you know, $27, you get the book, and then for $37, you get this and you get this. Do you recommend those upsells? Do we need those upsells? Just go with the book.
So one is Reels, and what's the second one?
Social Retail Blueprint.
If you struggle with creating effective Reels, the $37 upsell is effective. Okay, it's worthwhile. This read the a little bit about the Social Retail Blueprint for me. Is it there?
And my second question is, hang on, I got to go back and see if it's there because I already hit click. Is that link somehow tied to you? So I'm going into your book club because this looks like a big.
Yes, if you used these links here, they're connected to my book club because I'm the only affiliate who's offering the book club because I love coaching.
Take a day and a time and to.
Okay, do not book your free coaching call yet. That link will be available to you forever and ever and ever. Don't book it yet until after the book club, because you will have so much more information to bring to the table when you get on that strategy call with Attraction Marketing Specialist.
Okay, would it go to you, or is that going to go to some?
That goes to Attraction Marketing Specialist. That does not go to me. Okay.
I'm just hoping to get all these questions answered for you.
It's brilliant. Thank you for doing that.
By the books, they're not going to be going, what's this? What's this? Because I'm going to what's it right now.
Yes. The social media blueprint is effective if you want to learn how to make click and buy sales. It is something that we're going to cover in the book club. So, you know, to your own discretion. If you just love to learn and it's a price point that you're like, hey, that seems worth it. I'll tell you that everything that Attraction Marketing puts out is worth it because they are doing it. You know, they've produced more 6- and 7-figure earners online than any other training company. So it's all worth it, you know, but go with what you can, what's priority for you currently. If you do not know how to make an effective reel, invest in the reels. Okay, because it's going to
So
walk
I
you.
did your link, bought the $27 thing, and you're going to somehow get an email saying she's in your book club.
Yes, ma'am. And then you will get the emails from me. And I might turn, depending on, so the last book club, we had a lot of Australia and New Zealand participants, which we needed to do it at night. We could shift to a Tuesday morning if there's less on that side of the world and more Europe based. Okay. So we're gonna make it work for the most amount of people who are interested, but I can't put a time in it until I know who's who, because it doesn't make sense.
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is, if you're interested, because Jaden did such a very nice, clear experience of not being able to be live. If you're interested, by the $27, you're gonna get a bucket of people from this call, and we're gonna give it a couple of days for people to watch the replay. And if the majority of the people are from Europe, let's say, then you may do a Tuesday morning, because that's gonna be a lot better than a Monday evening.
Correct.
And that's for the book club. And then you might say Thursday morning is going to be the workshop.
On the
call.
first book club, I'll take a poll.
Okay.
And we'll have 3 different training options. And then the one who wins, wins.
Got
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
I do want to make a disclaimer with what I did say. This isn't obviously a question, but knowing what I know now, I didn't properly prepare for the book club, but I would have crawling on shattered glass to have showed up to every single one of the book clubs and office hours, knowing what I know now.
I adore
So
you.
if you can make it live, I would highly suggest it. If it is at some ungodly hour, like, please do not lose sleep to be there. But if you can make it live, make it live. You birds of a feather flock together, and the energy of having a whole group of people, especially when you're all in the same company, is something you're not going to get by watching the recordings.
I'm going to quote you. I would crawl on broken glass to get there. I'm going to quote you, Jaden. That was a wonderful compliment. Thank you. I don't think anyone's ever said they'd crawl on broken glass to spend some time with me. That's fantastic. To make my husband say that. Would you say that, babe? All right. Any other questions? The other thing is, listen, I had 22 people sign up for the last book club, and I had about 16 who were in it. Okay. So for those with the book club, the timing didn't work out or something happened in life, I invited them to the next book club. Right. And so, and I've had one person do book club 1 and book club 2, right? Because they wanted it again. And so once you get in with that $27 book, you have options. Like if it takes you 2 book clubs to really grasp it, then it takes you 2 book clubs. Like that's okay too, right? My heart is to elevate each one of us to become professional online network marketers. Yeah, Victoria says she might take 4. That's okay too, right? 4 book clubs. I'd love to have you. Okay. So don't panic like, oh gosh, this is the bad month, or I can't do it, or I got you. Okay. I got your back. The book club keeps expanding, different companies, different people. It's been so fun. So fun to do. Okay. Okay, so Katie, you're going to get an email from me with which chapters you want to read before the first session. It's chapters 1 to 3, okay, in the book. But you'll get an email with all the details with it.
Here's a first world problem. Does it happen to be on Audible as well?
No, it's an ebook.
Okay.
No, it's a first world problem. It'll take you, it's super easy to read.
Okay.
Imagine 15 to 20 minutes a week for reading. And then what you want to do while you're reading is just note down the important things that captured you. Okay, to share on the book club. Okay, the email will be from me, not Attraction Marketing. However, you're now in 2 CRMs. You're in their CRM and my CRM. Okay, so anything for the book club will come from me. The training that you'll get from them is solid. Read the emails. Read the emails from a marketer standpoint. because they're the masters at email marketing. Okay, pick it apart. What'd you like? What you didn't? Okay.
Hey, Allie, I don't know if this is going to apply to anybody else, but I had already bought a few things in the past from attraction marketing from a guy named Fernie. And so I just got the email from Fernie.
Yes, so that's Fernie's one of the co-founders of Attraction Marketing. And you got, because you're now in his CRM too, you'll get both. Okay, so Fernie, Attraction Marketing, read the emails, look at it with a discerning eye, because again, master of email marketing right there. My emails you'll get later. There's nothing automated yet. I've got to put you into my CRM. I've got to connect systems for you.
That makes me happy. I just was worried that since I already had sort of an account set up that I got put in the wrong bucket. I want to be in your bucket.
You're good. You're going to be in my bucket. Don't worry. I'm not letting you go.
Well, and somebody else may have bought, I think I bought the reels,
Yes, ages ago, right? Katie said, we don't need to sign up for anything or book a call with Fernie. Don't book the call with Fernie yet. Okay. At the end of the book club, you have the chance to book their call and see if further learning with attraction marketing, the company, is the right next step for you. But don't do it yet because you don't know anything yet, right? You will have a much more productive conversation after the book club to see really if learning attraction marketing is something that you want to move forward with. You're going to get all the basics of setting up your account properly and finding your people in the book club. But there's a lot more than that, of course. Yeah.
And like you said earlier, we may need to go through it 2 or 3 times before we really get it.
Mm-hmm. And I want you to set the mindset for that you're learning new skills. Some of you know them innately. Like some of you have built online successfully innately, but can you learn the skills now to pass on to your team? Right? Remember, we're wearing 2 hats. We're wearing the me as the learner hat. We're wearing the me as the leader hat. Right? If you've had success online, but you can't quite break it down and figure out, like maybe it's an unconscious competency for you, and you can't break it down into actionable steps for people, for your team, that's okay. You're going to have the actionable steps in the book club to be able to help your team leaders.
And one last, I'm
yes,
sorry.
go. No, please.
Will there be like a Telegram group or something for question Q&A in between things?
I haven't done that yet, but I think it's probably prudent because it keeps
about, we have 16 people watching live, and I think we had almost 40 people that were interested, and we are very global, so we're not going to hit everybody, and they may never be able to make it live. And would they be able to then have a space where they can ask a question in a group, because I don't want you to get crushed.
I feel like that's prudent. I've been taking primarily just email questions, but I think a group is prudent.
Great.
And I think Telegram's the right place to do it.
We could just maybe keep the group that we've created. The people who do buy the book stay in the group, and the people who decide that this isn't for them right now can just opt out.
That's great. And then I can add anyone from different companies, because one of the coolest thing is having multiple companies in the chat, because then you get to hear different target markets, different hero products, and how they're connecting. And it really has enhanced the learning for the book club participants in a really cool way. It's been neat. Val?
I just signed up for it, but it's saying the order is not complete because there's a book call at the end.
Can you share? Let me see what you're looking at.
You want me to share a screen?
Yes, please. Okay.
So it's saying it's not complete yet. And I put in my credit card and everything, but it's no opt out of here at all.
Okay, so I see you in my system. So you're through, you can get out.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, they want you to book your call. And you will do that later if you want, but not right now.
All
Yep,
right,
brilliant. I see you in my system.
Gotcha.
So far I see Valerie, Angie, Victoria, Dinica, Nancy, Katie. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so fun. This is gonna be really fun, guys. Okay, so get your order in before, I guess Friday would be, Thursday would be ideal so that I can figure out where everyone is, so I can find the right time, so I can email you the right time. I'm leaning towards, based on how many Europeans we have, I'm leaning towards Tuesday morning. Okay, so that we can make sure that the European team can access it. Munisha, how long are you in Japan for? Are you coming back to the States for summer?
Ellie, can you also have a look at Dinica's question?
Manisha is coming home. I don't know if she's able to unmute, if she's driving or what she's doing, but she is going to be
No,
in the
I am
States.
not driving. I'm just half asleep, but it's midnight now, but I'm hanging in. I am coming back on Sunday and I'm going to sign up. So hopefully the timing will work. I'll be home for summer. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so there's the two links again. Did I miss another question?
No, she's Dinica is saying, I did get the confirmation emails. So is that yours?
No.
Dinica, I don't know what exactly your question is.
From Fernie. Not from me.
So is she in your system? Do you see her?
You're gonna get, you're welcome, Val. You're gonna get also a free boot camp from me that's just gonna warm you up over the next couple days. Okay, so yes, you would have gotten a boot camp from me that's free. Watch the videos on your own time. They're gonna come.
Yeah, my question, you just answered, Val, that she was in your system. Can you say the same about Dinica?
Ah,
That was my question,
because
because
in my system,
she's in your system. Thank you. Dinica, you're in.
you're in.
Thank you.
Yes, brilliant.
Sorry, my audio was still somewhere else.
Well, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Now I hear myself as well. Anyway, no, I was just putting that comment when Valerie was asking the questions. So I was just saying, I also got that screen, but I got the confirmation email. So thank you.
Okay, brilliant. Awesome. Katie, I got to look into my account and see if anything fired yet. But check your spam as well. Okay, check your spam. The first email you get from me, reply back, please, so that both of our email providers go, oh, look, they're actually friends, right? So reply back, just say, hey, it's me, I'm excited, or whatever you want to say. And that will indicate to our emails that we're buddies. Okay, check your spam, please. Okay, we're at the top of the second hour. You guys were amazing. I hope that this, even if you don't join the book club, that this was enough value for you to get going, right? To start really identifying who it is that you want to serve, how you want to serve them, and then begin to craft the content that you believe will serve them properly, right? To start building your attraction, your influence, and your enrollment. You're very welcome, Yvonne. Thank you, guys.
Holly, sorry, one more question. For those who aren't going to be able to do the book club this season for whatever reason, they are going to get access to that spreadsheet. Did I hear you say if they put their name and email in the chat that you were going to give them that target market spreadsheet of blank?
Absolutely.
Okay, and so if they're watching this recording and they're not able to put their name and email into a chat, how would they contact you to get that?
So what I want you to do is I want you to send an email to, I'm going to put this here because they're not going to have access to the chat. It's going to be alimonaconsulting@gmail.com. If my thing decides to pop up. Here we go. Alimona, just my name, and then consulting@gmail.com.
Perfect.
Go ahead and drop me your name and email there, and I'll make sure that you get the actual Google Sheet that will help you along the journey. And if the book club isn't right for you, the next time I launch a book club, I'll be able to reach out to you and see if it's the right time for you then as well. Okay. There's so much that's like dependent on if this is the right time for you. Yeah. And so you will have more opportunities if this is not the right time for you, understanding that we're looking at 90 days, 120 days for results. Okay, I want to set that expectation clear from the beginning. Some people have results faster. In my opinion, they're flukes, or they're people in your warm market that you just haven't tapped into yet. Okay, cold market conversions, we're looking at 90 to 100 days for most people. Okay, who is drawn on my screen? I love it.
And I
Sorry. So the book club is 1 call a week, 12 weeks.
2
Two
calls
calls a week,
4
6 weeks, 4
4.
weeks. So it's not, okay, I had a number 12, so I don't make,
Because the office hours tend to go 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how many people are on and how many people are in the hot seat. I do
All
not
right.
let you walk away from a hot seat without your questions answered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great, yeah.
So on average, it's been about 12 hours of coaching throughout the 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys asked the best questions. I hope this is super clear for all of you who are watching the recording. Thank you, Victoria, for thinking ahead. Okay, Katie, you're at Fastmail. Okay, brilliant. If you buy the book, you're in my system. I'll have your email. Okay, if you don't buy the book, that's when I can communicate via email.
I might have used a different email to buy the book, but that's my business email.
This is your business email. Okay, brilliant. Got it.
And I just want to say, for those of you who were on Friday's business call, for if you're on my team on this call or watching, we talked about really keeping the momentum going through summer, and how most network marketing people have this mindset of, oh, it's summer, this is why I do network marketing, so I can take the summer off and I can lay by the pool, or, you know, nobody wants to buy. We're telling ourselves a story, some story during the summer, which is getting us out of momentum, right? Nobody wants to buy in the summer. Nobody wants to be bothered in the summer. Nobody wants this in the summer or that in the summer. Whatever your story is, you're telling yourself, I am super excited about having this book club through the summer, because even if this is all you do, at least you're moving the needle forward. You're making progress in your business. You're doing something. So, Allie, I really appreciate you opening this up to our team. I really appreciate that we have something fun and strategic and effective to be focusing on as a community during the summer. And, you know, we can all, you know, do you want to focus on your stories, or do you want to focus on your results? Because I got a lot of stories about summer. I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be, you know, I got a lot of stories I could tell myself, but you know what? Come September, I want some really powerful results. So I'm in. I may be on a plane or a train or something, or boat while I'm listening.
Yeah.
But
That's all right.
Yeah, and we're talking summer, but that's all for everybody in the Northern Hemisphere. Those from our team who are in the Southern Hemisphere are facing autumn and winter. So you need this training to really hit the nail in your business in December.
Spring. All right, come spring. Yeah, and it's the perfect time. It's chill, it's relaxed, it's fun. You're going to look forward to the calls, right? Because you will see progress. I promise. I promise. I haven't had anyone who has actually dialed in and done the work who has not made progress. Okay, now if you're sitting on the sideline as a bystander, I can't promise you progress. But that's with anything in life, right? You got to play. So if you're willing to play with me, then you will make progress. That I can promise you. Okay. All right, guys. You're super welcome, Danica. I appreciate everyone staying on for the 2 hours. Okay, the link is not working for Hong Kong billing address, Gigi. The link that says everywhere else. All right, let me troubleshoot with you off the call, Gigi. Let me figure it out with you, okay? It might be, let me just look real quick. Hong Kong. You're right, there is no Hong Kong. Isn't that interesting? Huh. All right, friend, I might have to help you purchase. I'll reach out right now, Gigi, because I know it's late for you too. All right, guys, if there's no other questions, we're going to wrap up. If you're watching the recording and you're going to join us, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I look forward to, I'll be in touch soon.
So
Within the
how
next-
many days do people have to watch the recording?
Let's have them make a decision to join or not join by Thursday.
So in Europe, that's
2 more days.
yeah. So Thursday midnight. Yeah. Okay.
All of
48
today.
Drop the recording in our group as well. for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
guild.
Yeah.
Will do.
Yeah.
And I'll send it to everyone via email as well.
And feel free to keep adding people to the group if you found significant value in this and you had names pop into your head of, oh, this person would love this. Add them to the group.
Yeah.
Or forward the message. Yeah, if you're not in that particular group because you're with a different company, forward the message to the people. And it's way more fun to do it together in community with your buddies. Okay. A rising tide, friends, a rising tide. All right. I appreciate
Okay.
all. We will be in touch this week and we'll start next week.
Thank you.
Well
Bye.
done, friends. We'll talk soon. Bye.